think he just released a new one, like Even Happier or some bullshit.
Okay. And literally, I'm like, just fucking finish it. And I just got so bored of just reading like.
What is it, like cliches or?
Not cliches. It's just like, and then the Stoics said this, and the Stoics said this, and this is what Stoics believe, and Stoicism this, and Stoicism so. And I'm just like, I get it. Cool. The book didn't need to be this long.
There is a big resurgence of popularity in the Stoics, isn't there?
Yeah, I bought that book. What's it called?
Ryan Holiday?
No. I had that as an audiobook and then stopped listening.
Ego is the enemy or something like that. Yeah.
No. Oh, it is Ryan Holiday.
Okay.
But I think it's the 366.
Oh, like
Meditations.
Something a day.
Yeah. That one. So I'm gonna start reading that in January.
Listen, there is something for the Stoics.
Literally, that's like my favorite
Kind of philosophy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just Darren Brown didn't.
I just feel like as he was going on and on about it, you kind of just like you're just making the same points over and over.
Oh, okay. It is pretty chunky, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we were just discussing, because I just put it on record, I thought, whatever. Okay. So do you want the jiu-jitsu one?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay. So welcome to the Dad and the Dude episode 4, in theory, possibly. Aaron's looking at my books. We're deciding which ones he's going to take. So far, we've got this Jiu-Jitsu Unleashed book by Eddie Bravo. Tower 7.
This shake hands like every time you hand me one.
Definitely not. This is Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run, which I can't let him have, but then he made a good point about how if I really want it back, this is kind of how it should be. What exactly you said. If I want it back, if I want to read it, actually read it, not just look at it and own it, I have to ask him. And then he wanted this book by this racist cunt, so I was like, sure. He went. Oh.
Yeah.
And then this guy, who wrote Layla, I guess. So,
I remember, like, when I first found out about Bruce Springsteen, I remember thinking he must have some like mad, wild, like drug, sex kind of stories.
Not really, isn't it?
And it's like really just wholesome.
It's really mild mannered. He had a bit of mental health.
Yeah.
I think maybe he had an affair.
And then I was like, right, he must have had like a whole racist period and all that stuff. Like, no, he's just like an advocate for everybody.
Mate, that's a very rare thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
He's almost uncancelable. Which is not. Imagine the amount of cancelable things there'd be against Kurt Cobain if he was still alive. Maybe, right? It's just how culture works these days.
I don't know, because he was still very...
He was very progressive, that's true.
Definitely.
Very gay rights, very...
But then he had that thing with that disabled girl.
Oh my God, what's that?
So when he was at school, he got like called into the principal's office because like, I don't know if it's technically molesting, but like there's a girl with special needs and like him and a load of friends went around there and touched her up a little bit.
Oh, like that's coming. Do you reckon that's in Heavier Than Heaven?
That's where I read it.
Fuck.
So
that's enough.
That came out nowadays. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so funny how there's shit about people sometimes that I'm like, I know that it's just not people haven't been reminded. I think there's loads of celebrities right now who like literally go back to a 2010 interview or something. You can find stuff on everyone.
Yeah, I think it's literally just if you pick somebody you want to bring down,
100%.
You just go back through their tweets or like old stuff that people know about them.
Mate, the Louis one's always going to be the big one, isn't it? I wonder how that pans out because we're such big Louis fans.
I was talking about that with one of the guys in the jiu-jitsu group yesterday.
What's he think?
And we were just talking about comedians, and I was like, I really like Louis C.K. And he was like, didn't he rape somebody? And I was like, well, he wanked himself off in his room and there's people there. And he went, yeah, and apparently he got consent first, but she revoked that afterwards.
Right.
And then I was like, yeah.
I'm not 100% about the consent bit.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I think that's where it gets a grey area. As if we can fucking judge it and police that shit. But yeah.
The books.
What books?
These books.
Lol. Yeah, what about them and what?
Well, I've got a question about the books.
What's your question?
What's the deal with the books?
The deal with the books, freeze frame, is that I have many. I've spent over a decade accumulating them, and I think I was always a fan of books. As everyone knows, I have Write and Read tattooed on my wrists. Big reader, big writer, and
move this back a bit so I'm a bit more in the frame.
Good idea.
Oops.
And gang, I like just it's my favorite hobby, whatever. So I'm thinking having some books is fun. That's where it's healthy. And then at a certain point when things were tough in life, I guess I became more obsessed with like having more, accumulating, having a collection. I think it mirrors some of my dad's hoarding, bless his heart and soul. And yeah, it's like I kind of still will always defend to the hilt books as something that are practical and lovely and good to own. It's fucking knowledge, the smell in a library, the feeling in a bookshop. These are my favorite things. So the idea of coming into a home where I have hundreds upon hundreds is really nice. But if you're in a home that's not technically yours, and if it's not a very stable, you're going to live there, and everything's very open and communicative, and I've ended up like hiding quite a few places, not hiding from people, but just keeping them out of the way. I think this exact amount could have worked if I had my own place and my own mansion, but I don't. And making this collection live here, it was always an unhealthy prospect. I used to come home from central London with bags full from these vintage bookshops I liked, and then let's say I'd run into a friend like Tom at the station, he'd be like, "Oh, that's mad, that's a big haul, like, you know, maybe you're gonna not get a few new books for a while." And I'd be like, "This is like my third trip of the week." Like it became like I'd go back and forth. I'd love the feeling of coming home, looking through, like, even let alone now me looking through this big pile and seeing surprises. I'd love coming home and being like, "Oh, what did I get in my druggy days?" Like, yeah, it was
what
mad.
did I get at my book stash?
I swear.
Out of like all the books you've bought,
Yes.
how many would you say you've read?
Not many. Like, because I have so many, I've read a lot, but
Yeah.
I've got so many that I've like, yeah, 5 to 10% at most. But this is the thing that I always argue with people where, okay, I need to get rid of them. I'm about to move. I don't want them lumbering me my whole life. It does feel like a bit of a weight on my chest, blah, blah, blah. But I don't get this idea of like, "Oh, you've got so many books. I bet you haven't read all of them." Bro, that's the point. It's like, "Oh, you've got a Netflix account. I bet you haven't watched all the movies." Like, I have lots to look forward to. I want to own lots.
Yeah, what's the logic in having like a bookshelf full of books and you're like, "I've read all of them"?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah. This is like, so as much as I do like going to bookstores, this is basically a simulation of a bookstore in my home where I can still be surprised by it. But the point where it gets impractical is where I can't even be surprised by it because they're all hidden. And I was telling Aaron earlier that when you know it's too far is that basically someone will ask for a book and I know I've got it, but I don't know where, because it's not organized anymore. It's all fucking mad. And I love my books, but I think getting rid of them, purging them, is the healthier option for the books. I need to know what books I actually want. So here's a really good example. My favorite book from childhood was the Redwall series, right? By this guy, Brian Jakes. Just a bunch of mice going to war and shit. It's really
Did you
cute.
have one of them at uni?
Possibly, yeah. He was the guy because he wrote like dozens of these Redwall books. And the first one I ever read was Martin the Warrior. And me and Chris Benton went to W.H. Smith in Watford and met Brian Jakes before he died. And this is how he signed it.
Oh wow, nice.
How cool is that? To Jeff the Warrior. And I've always wanted to get that like tattooed on me or something, which probably wouldn't work, but you know what I mean? That's really special to me. So if I'm thinking, can look at this and be like, there's true value there.
I've decided I want that book.
Then what value does it have if it's hidden among thousands? So it's almost like this is a project where it's like, this is the lump of clay, and if I sculpt it, there is actually a nice statue of a book collection. It's very meaningful to me.
Yeah.
But the healthy thing would be to take, so many of them were just accumulated in a frenzy of, that was my coping mechanism, and I need to like purge a lot of that. So, I mean, it's a very meager start, but I'm going to make sure Aaron leaves with at least, I don't know, 6 at least. Like, take a few, mate, for fuck's sake. But yeah, and I'm going to go live in a new place and have a very modest book collection. And I'm going to take photos of everyone, because part of me, and I think it's part of me I have to work on, is like an archivist. I love being a completist. I love having a whole series. So like here is something thank you, mate. Cheers, bro. Here is something that I'm desperately looking forward to. So I was telling you earlier about the French writer Proust.
Yeah.
Look at this shit. How fucking pretty and perfect is this? So Proust was like this invalid dude who wrote the most famous autobiography ever called In Search of Lost Time.
Okay.
And
I've heard the name before.
Right. And it was translated many years ago. And a few years ago, they did this new thing where all 6 volumes would be translated by a different person. And I really want to read that one as my first one. So look how pretty. It's all of them. And I remember having like 2 and then one day going to Waterstones and the other 4 were there. And I was like, fuck yeah, I love this. Having all of it. It's something so satisfying. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
So I need to not have that as much, or at least manage it. You can't have all the books, Aaron. This is a really sad fact about the world.
So out of this set here,
Yeah.
So you've got all 6.
Yeah.
Should I just take number 4?
Definitely not. You know, even you picking it up and starting that sentence, I was like, fuck, get off them. You're not doing anything with this lot. But you can have fucking this. I don't give a shit about Thomas Hardy, my little box.
The fuck is Thomas Hardy?
Just another old writer. I don't know anything about him. At a certain point, I do love like trying new music and new shit where I just hear one recommendation and I try it. So lots of books I have are by writers like Ann Tyler. I've heard Ann Tyler's fucking sick. I've never read one. This was her big book a few years ago, A School of Blue Thread.
Let me just check that phone, make sure it's not about my baby.
Yes, good idea. Do you want the Corey Taylor one?
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't really...
Man like Slipknot on that.
Okay, fantastic. Man does like Slipknot on that. Thomas Hardy I can just already get rid of. See, just even putting record now is making me feel like this is really happening. Ralph Waldo Emerson. See, I've never read a full thing, but I'm very interested in his philosophy, so that's going in the keep pile. Basically, Aaron is here to be a witness to and start of this first push, because finally there's more in the front room so I can sort through it. It's the closest to the front door. We were talking about how in a way this is almost like a heroin addict having all his heroin in the front room and not quite getting rid of it. But look, here's a little pile of keeps. There's a little piles of Aaron's and get rid. It's happening. I'm getting rid of my heroin. But yeah, the deal with the books is that I love them, but it's too much. Are you getting rid of
heroin, or are we just in here doing heroin together?
I think we're doing a bit of goodbye heroin together.
Yeah, exactly. The last time we'll ever do heroin.
This time, I swear. What about a Frank Sinatra biography? Fucking massive.
No.
No. What about Lou Reed? Aaron thought Lou Reed was black. He thought it was Louis Armstrong.
I did. I'm very proud of that fact.
Yeah, I'm proud of it too. That's cool. Oh, here's the Ian Banks guy we were talking about. You haven't read him either. Do you want to read him one day? Because if not, it's going in the get rid pile, because I don't care about Ian Banks. Bless his heart.
No.
This is happening now, slowly but surely. That pile, even by the end of the week, is going to be massive. That's my get rid pile. So basically, this podcast can just be like maybe the first couple of piles we'll have a look through.
Sweet.
Okay. So I was just talking about this. Bless her, she seems cool, but I don't really care. You can throw that with Ian Banks. David Mamet, House of Games. That's like a play script. I find those quite curious. Get rid, come on.
See, the logic in my head was like, look how small it is though. Like, just keep it.
Yeah,
It doesn't take up any space, but you know, if you do that 100 times.
I think I just need to get used to that feeling more, even with whatever books. This one is a script for a movie I really like. I'll keep that one. These are a bit, okay. So this is a podcast I've never listened to, but they made a book out of it, and I found that quite a cute idea, but fuck it. A book about jazz. Come on, that's my shit, sorry. Thomas Mann, Death in Venice. I heard that's a good film. I've heard Thomas Mann is cool. Nah. Oh, how about this for you? No, it's not quite, but like the HBO effect. Look who's in the cover.
I'm probably not going to read that. Do you want to
Get rid.
Oh, is that Tony Soprano?
Yes, mate. And Don Draper. Have you one day have to watch Mad Men?
I know you've
tried.
Is it the one with the redhead?
Yeah. Yeah. What else is she in? Christina Hendricks, I think is her name. Yeah. Didn't go, like, it didn't hook you?
I was watching it one night when Nicole was away, and I was kind of watching it half asleep in bed. I did like the look of it. I just never got around to carry on watching
Basically, it's one of the writers from The Sopranos who created it and developed it. So it's like, it's got that flavor.
It's got that really kind of like sexist old 80s vibe, isn't
basically.
It? Yeah. Start hitting people's asses and stuff.
The 50s, yeah, smoking in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, but that can be a get rid.
Cool.
These are all, I remember getting these specifically in my favorite Waterstones in Piccadilly. This looks like a really cool biography. This won a prize and seemed cool, but I'm not bothered. And this looks really fun. I want this one. It's about slavery. Imagine how dismissive I'm being about some of these. That might be people's favorite books.
Do you know what? Like, this is fucking mad. But do you remember at uni you gave me, I borrowed The Time Traveler's Wife off with you?
Oh yeah.
And then,
Audrey
like,
Niffenegger or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then halfway through it, I was like, have it back because I need to buy my own copy now.
Oh really?
That was like still one of my favorite books.
Bless your heart, really.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. This is a book of interviews with poets that I've had since I was 14.
Keep
it.
that. Yeah.
My Life as a Dog is a film I've never seen and I don't really want to see. Sorry. This is just a cute cover. Alec Guinness is a famous actor, and I didn't really know he was a writer. I didn't know I had this. Nope. Finding Ultra. This is one of my favorite podcasters. I don't listen to him enough. Rich Roll. He went from like a drug addict to like an ultra marathon guy. I definitely want to read this one day. Ooh, this is my middle ground. I'm like, I don't want to read this right now. But I love having it where it's like it's so deep and intense. It's a biography of a playwright. But look,
I imagine how you feel about this pile here. You probably will feel about quite a lot of books. So if you,
I don't.
No,
I don't know. I can't. Be
okay,
sure.
okay.
Nah, get rid. Because
Cool.
one day, if I get into Strindberg, this is the thing about a lot of my collection. I'm always like, if I end up doing a PhD, I might be into a really weird new artist, and I'm glad I'll have all the books. If I ever end up doing work on Strindberg, I'll fucking get the book. It's fine. Carol Ann Duffy, I have a signed copy of her collected poems. I don't need her selected. Withnail and Ice Script came free with Sight and Sound magazine. See you later. Peter Falk, bless his heart. Columbo. I'm not going to read that right now. This is really hard. I don't mean to be dismissive. I'm trying to do a thing. Look at this title. I think I just got it for the title.
Wow, okay.
A Jihad for Love. Looks a bit deep. Do you want that one?
I have read a book called Radical by Majid Nawaz.
Oh, yeah.
And he talks about how he basically went through being an Islamic fundamentalist and how he come out of it. It's fucking amazing.
I heard.
You should buy that book and add it to your collection.
Deal. This I really want. Thoughts About Writing by Norman Mailer. This is a book of poetry. I like this guy. See? And
Norman Mailer, the
Yeah.
actor.
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Who are you thinking of? Norman.
Dead now, from Bottom and the Young Ones.
Oh, fucking what's his name? Not like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's Googling it? Who gives a shit? Get rid. George Simenon. Don't know him. Don't care. Why did I like this one? This one looks interesting. I feel like someone I liked it. What do you think? Life's operating manual with the fear and truth dialogues. Is it possible that life, just like almost everything else, comes with an operating manual? I already feel like I'm in a cult.
I feel like I've heard of that book. When you're holding.
Life's operating manual?
Yeah.
Okay, if we... that's kind of interesting. Fuck it, yeah. Okay, Daphne du Maurier, who wrote Rebecca. I didn't enjoy Rebecca at uni. See ya. The Constant Gardener, that film was very acclaimed, but I don't care it was. I didn't enjoy it that much. The Language Instinct, I have that. The Reading Instinct for this book, I don't have that. In Cold Blood, fantastic. I loved the film. That was the Philip Seymour Hoffman. Did you ever see that?
Well, I did not.
It was Cold Blood. All right, this we could do one more and then done, and then see if you can find any more for you.
Yeah. Cool.
Jean Reese, Tigers Are Better Looking. Yeah, go on. I've heard Jean Reese is cool. Kate Tempest, book of poetry, love it. Motivation, a psychology book on motivation since the 1930s. Here's another game we can do. If there's one nice sentence and you're going to decide if I keep it or not from this sentence, okay?
Okay.
When certain events occur immediately following a response, the future probability of the occurrence of that response may be increased or decreased.
Read.
Hope, some memoir about drugs. Everyone's got a memoir about drugs. I prefer this memoir about drugs. Forced Entries by Jim Carroll. I love him. I don't know them. At this point, I'm almost like looking at like 50 friends.
Yep.
And I'm just keeping the ones I like already. And the ones that I've just made, I'm like, nah. Happy Cat. I'm going to get a cat again one day. Enough About You. This is about autobiography. I plan to write an autobiography one day. Hillbilly Elegy. That's about all the people who voted for Trump and giving them more sympathy and understanding, which I'll do another time in my life. Maybe you want to do it.
No.
Do you want this MMA biography just in case? It's
Yeah,
a bit
sure.
like training and stuff. Why Sinatra Matters. I want to learn that one day. Ryan Adams, very controversial, but I do like his music. Sorry. Oxford Book of Carols. I know enough carols. See you later. The Radical Technologies, The Design of Every Life. That was a Secret Santa book to me. I was going to get rid of it very easily, but I just saw a Brian Eno quote and it looks really good, but now I don't really care. Theory of Film, The Redemption of Physical Reality. See, in theory, wow, very theory heavy. I'm not at uni for film right now. I'm not writing an academic text.
I was about to say, is that Goldie on front of that?
Yeah, it's Goldie. England is mine. Pop life in Albion, from wild to Goldie, which seems like a very weird comparison to make. I'm kind of curious. Patti Smith, love her. Keeping Everything by Patti Smith. Nearly done. Hey, that pile's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's just give the camera a little taste of this. Is the keep pile. This is the Aaron pile. And that's the get rid pile. Hey, it's doable. I literally think a few fucking weeks of this sort of pace and this happens. Colin McCann, he's all right, but that's it. Dashiell Hammett, one of the most famous sort of mystery crime writers. I don't really care. No, I'm not liking this video anymore. It's me just having a go and not being into shit. I like JM. I've got a few of his books, maybe. This is some young adult shit that I'll give to Selena. What do I do with books I want to give to people? That should be like another pile, isn't it?
Have you got back?
I'll just put that the closest to there for now to remind me. Hilary Mantel. Everyone fucking loves Hilary Mantel, but guess what? It's really big and I've never read her, so see you later. All of these ones that I'm dismissing, this is the reason I got it in the first place. I'm very open to one day being very big super fans of, but I'm just trying to be, right?
Yep.
Like if you imagine every book I got rid of, you were a massive fan of the writer, do you feel offended?
No.
Great.
Maybe if like you had a few books and you were just like, fuck this book.
Right. I've
But,
literally
like,
got,
compared to the books you have,
yes. Because the camera doesn't show it, you can vouch to having looked in my house and knowing there's at least a few thousand, right?
there's some books in his house.
Yes,
Some many books.
some many books. This looked cool, but I don't care. It's called The Tale of an American Dreamer. Oh, even this is called Ed King. I think, is that?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, right. Nah. Alice Walker. I feel like I've got loads of her books and I've only read one or two and I'm not too fast. Oh, all of this is to get rid of. Great. Angela Carter, Alan Cumming. This one, yeah, even. Does anyone like it that I like? This is me. This is me. Does anyone that I like it? No. Jonathan Coe. Great. I've got another one of his books. So I'll leave this one. Elmore Leonard. Do you know Elmore Leonard?
Never heard of
Really famous crime writer. He's the one who wrote like Jackie Brown and stuff. And That in the Woods I've heard of. Nah, all done. Great. I've made the get rid pile sizable. I'm proud of myself.
Let me take this one.
Yeah, how come? Let's see what attracted you.
This is the kind of shit Nicole reads.
Oh yeah, good.
Psychological suspense.
Nice. Who's the author? Tamara something? Jane.
Ton of French.
Tana French. You got and put that in the get rids. And hey, that's just this nice little to make some symmetry going. JM, that's one of the ones I'll keep. William Faulkner, I've heard is great. Oh, this is a tricky one. England's Dreaming. Now, this is where I get I love music books. But like, John Lydon
From the Sex Pistols.
from the Sex Pistols seems like a bit of a cunt now. That doesn't mean all punk wasn't a thing. I'm still interested in punk. Fuck it. 4 by Truffaut, film scripts by one of my favorite filmmakers. Yes, please. Patrick Modiano. This is where I do the thing that you thought I should have done earlier. But even though I don't feel like reading this now, it's so small, and he won Nobel Peace Prize a couple of years ago. I'm like, I want one by this guy. Sombrero Fallout by Richard Vortigern. This is like an experimental writer that doesn't have many books in shops. I was like, oh, I found one of his books, but I don't need it.
I feel like we should go through this part as well because then you've got it perfect.
Hey, perfect. And there's some nice hardbacks that won't be as long. A Joseph Conrad biography. I think he's in the same vein as Strindberg, the biography that I got rid of. Nice.
You can tell these are hardbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Nicely done. Movies. Having a book about movies is great. It's just like the punk thing where for now I'm like, maybe if I find more movie books, I'll choose between them. But okay. Keeping everything about Bob Dylan at the moment. Just where I'm at in my life. Simon Reynolds, Bring the Noise. That's a really 20 years of writing about hip hop and rock. That's so my jam. Lou Reed, I've got way better biographies. This was like one that came out right after he died that I don't think is as exhaustive as others. Sia. Quotes about an encyclopedia of quotations about music. If this one's good, I keep. If it's not, I'm not. Music furnishes a delightful reaction for the hours of respite from the cares of the day and lasts us through life.
I mean, I like it as a quote. It's quite nice.
President Thomas Jefferson said it as well. That's weird. Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, if I ever have to justify
Are you ever going to read a book of quotes about music?
100%.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Like, I feel like it justifies a lot of my life choices.
Yeah, for sure.
Elvis Costello, an illustrated biography. That's a cute concept. Oh, it's not actually that illustrated. It's just got a few photos. I'd rather get his autobiography, which I keep meaning to get. Chuck. Book about the Pixies. Gotta love the Pixies. Yeah, go on then. Patti Smith. I told you I'm keeping everything, even though a few of the biographies aren't as good. Third Rock from the Sun. Have you ever watched this? One of the funniest sitcoms.
Yep.
It's so dumb. Do you like it? It's all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't read a book about it.
This is true.
I like How I Met Your Mother. I wouldn't read a book about it.
Right, exactly. Oh my days, I'm such a dickhead. Yeah, I wouldn't read a book about it either. I'm just looking through it. It's fine. Thank you for your hours of enjoyment you've given me, Third Rock from the Sun. Simon Pegg, I think you're okay. Bye.
Bin.
I love Bob Dylan. Imagine this is one dude and a lifetime's worth of writing about Bob Dylan. Imagine having a dude do that for you. I was telling Benton the other day, I was 16 or 17, first starting to write songs, and I have a vivid memory of being in my garden reading a magazine about Bob Dylan and feeling like, that's nothing. One day I'm going to make this guy's achievements pale in comparison. It's like the funniest little memory I have because like, it's quite sweet in a way, and it's nice and like, oh, look at me, I'm going to be the big shit, but it's also like, be a bit humble, chill the fuck out. It's fucking Bob Dylan you're talking about. Torment Saint, which is a biography about Elliott Smith, one of my favorite songwriters. And I think I should keep it. I think that's the responsible thing to do. Ian Curtis, who's the lead singer of Joy Division.
He killed himself, didn't he?
He did kill himself. Yeah, I've got I think the book that his wife wrote, I think it's like called Touching from a Distance or something. I think that's the one I want to read. We can get rid of that. Keith Richards' life. I want to read that. I love the Stones. Riders on the Storm. My Life with Jim Morrison and the Doors. So this is the drummer from the Doors talking about the Doors. Oh, I love the Doors, but do I care about the drummer? What are you saying?
Honest to God, I thought I was looking at that book like maybe, and then as soon as he said the drummer talking about the Doors, I was like, no, who gives a fuck?
I love this music critic, Alex Ross, and the Libertines. Kids in the Riot, High and Low with the Libertines. I used to love the Libertines. I still like them, but I don't. I remember reading this book and being like, no, it's all right. There's a better biography about them out there. All right. This is all very hard, but it's happening. The book's getting big.
I'm literally having
Why?
second thoughts about that one. Just because I like the Doors.
Yes.
And so I've done it with like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, where I like
memoirs.
Like, yeah. So I'm sorry, maybe. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. What if it,
Yeah, exactly.
Libertines get rid of, because I got a better book about them. Also mentioned. Yeah. Let's see if we can find you one or two more before you go there. How about the Nirvana tour diary? No. It's just a tour diary.
I've read the Kurt Cobain diaries as well.
Yeah, they're a bit. What do you make of the Kurt Cobain diaries?
It's exactly what I expected from when I read his the biography.
Yeah.
It makes like.
What do you think of publishing someone's diaries after they died, if they didn't give express permission?
I would be livid if somebody did that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if I've like written things about people that I don't necessarily want to be put out there like that. So I think it's quite disrespectful. I mean, I still read it.
That's the thing. Same. I actually agree with your take, and yet I still read it too. Let's see, because I'd love to give you one or two more. Is there anything? This is always a question I like asking the people. Is there anything that's like in your head, like, oh, I want to read a book about this right now? Do you know what I mean?
I'm really enjoying reading books about martial arts and stuff.
Okay, this is going to be hard. I just got this, but I think this could be the MMA equivalent of Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. Oh shit, I'm really doing this. This means I'm committing to getting rid of books. The Way I Fight by arguably the GOAT of MMA, George St. Pierre.
Tell you what, let's do an interesting thing. So on my jiu-jitsu group just now,
yes,
somebody asked me if I know what submission that is.
Oh,
so that's the submission there.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna see if I can guess what it is.
Do you want this?
Do you want it? I will read it.
Let's do the Bruce Springsteen thing, because I think if you're enjoying books about martial arts, he's arguably the GOAT of MMA. That would be interesting to read. He came back after like a 4-year absence, and he won the middleweight title after being a lifetime welterweight champion. So he's the GOAT, in my opinion. So that'll be interesting to read about his mindset and shit. Listen, you've got enough now. Go away.
No.
Nah. Look at this. It's good though, because this is the reason it's really good. I'm starting this with Aaron is because he's someone I trust. I was talking to him earlier about how like it's like giving away a pet to someone you know is going to take care of them.
So I also got rid of a big pile of books.
Yes.
But
Why do you give some of them to me?
my big pile of books was probably like one of these piles. So, but yeah, that went to a family member as well.
Did it? Which family?
Nicole's sister-in-law.
Nice.
I sent her a picture and was like, "Does anybody want any of these books?" She just went, "Give me the whole pile." So I was like, "Sweet."
Nice. Have you ever been into Patti Smith? I've got quite a few biographies of her. I feel like
No.
I don't think she's
I
almost.
couldn't tell you who she is either.
Right, exactly. What about a couple more? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. This is the problem. We're all in each other's way, isn't it? What about the first book by James O'Brien before he wrote How to Be Right? He wrote Loathe Thy Neighbor.
I really don't like him.
Oh no, you've gone off him. You used to like him.
I don't like him. I just like agreed with some of the stuff he had in his book.
You don't like him.
And it like really helped me kind of.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I don't like him.
Oh no, I quite like him. Yeah, read some Buddhist scriptures and feel better about it. Don't feel so attached. Oh, you were just saying you're not. You don't like him or not like him. No. Yeah. The Fables of Aesop. You should give this to Jacob. Have you heard of the Fables of Aesop?
No.
It's like the simplest stories. These and the rest of the brief allegorical tales known for over 2,500 years as Aesop's fables are not just simple children's stories, but a vital part of our culture.
What?
Yeah, this can this. I want to give this to Jacob.
Yep, go for it.
Aesop's fables. Cloud Atlas. Same New World is Ruby Wax's biography about mental health. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna kiss. Let me see. Oh, no, I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving him that. Remembering Kurt Cobain by Danny Goldberg. That was his manager. I really, really want to read this actually really soon.
I feel like I had that. Somebody bought it for me for a birthday present.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course they were. Just Kurt Cobain books, isn't it? How? You know, we were just talking about Bob Dylan having that big one.
Yeah.
Imagine being dead at 27 and still having books made about you to this day.
That is insane,
Isn't
isn't
it?
it?
I'm going to move the guitar if you want to have a quick look.
Okay.
Oh, this feels good and cleansing and awful. Bruce Springsteen and George St. Pierre. I'm going to regret this. Watch me tackle you as you try to leave.
Yeah, no. There's pricks still in my book.
Tyson Fury, isn't it? Interested?
No.
No.
I mean, I do have like a mad amount of respect for him.
Yeah. His mental health journey.
Yeah.
Have a look. Let's see under there. It's a random lion. Zen pencils, Zen cartoons. Oh, sick. I have a Kobe Bryant biography. That's cool. I'm like vaguely.
Is he the one that's dead?
Yeah, he's the one that died in the helicopter crash. I'm mad.
Mad.
Ronda Rousey. I've always tried to recommend that to Susie. She's never jumped, but that's a really good martial arts biography. Not too bothered by Ronda.
Honestly, after she like lost 2 fights and then basically quit MMA, become a WWE wrestler, I was kind of like, fuck off.
Listen, I know what you mean. I do.
Because she basically stopped fighting.
Yep.
To take on fake fighting.
Listen, I'm a big pro wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So the thing that bothered me wasn't the going to WWE. It was how she never got over her losses.
Yeah.
Really. Which, hey, people are different, I guess. But hey.
Like, did you have a lot of respect for
Connor? When he lost, he fucking just owned that shit. But I did.
Who's that guy that fought Frank Mir?
Brock Lesnar.
The fact that he like started off doing wrestling.
Oh.
And then next thing you know, he's actually in the octagon, like smashing people up.
Yeah, true. Do you know what? I think this is still going to be a work in progress. We can do another episode in the new year, and you can take what's left. Like, don't worry, this is your
what's
one
left,
shot.
just for the rest of it.
Oh man. Okay, so this is a nice opportunity to talk about this book because I definitely somewhere have another copy, and if not, it's important enough to me. I'll find it elsewhere. The actor Ethan Hawke has written 2 books. I think he has a third finally coming out after like a decade.
Yeah.
And Ash Wednesday, this is an uncorrected proof of it, is it's a novel about a relationship. But honestly, it's one of the best books I've ever read. I fucking love it. I think you'll love it too. I want to give you this one. A novel about a relationship, but trust me. The one other person I told to trust me on this was a friend in Kuwait who ended up agreeing that it's fucking amazing.
Okay, cool.
Oh no. I need to find it though. I'm sure I have another copy. Oh, fuck you, Owen. This is one guy I hear a lot about who I just don't give a fuck about. PG Woodhouse. Who are you? Why do I care? Listen, this YouTube channel might become quite book heavy with me reviewing books and talking about books. So this episode may be making you think I'm a bit of a book hater, like Aaron mentioned earlier. I'm not. I'm trying to get rid, trying to do a healthy thing. I don't know who she is either. Forgive me. All right, listen. We did good. We went in. Yeah, let's find one to end on. What can be a good one to end on to give you? I'm gonna find a good one to end on to give you. Maybe it was that Ethan Hawke one, I guess. Philosophy, Stoics. Okay. The Art of Loving. Now he's got that figured out. Cigarettes Are Sublime. He does not agree. Emma,
True.
you've got How Not to Be a Boy, haven't you?
I've read that.
Robert Webb, you've read. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Would you be interested? I don't have it actually, but would you be interested? I'm just curious in reading his novel. Like, how much of a just straight up novel guy are you? You're more of a other genres, isn't it?
Do you know
You
what?
haven't
So,
not read novels.
when I read novels, I get through them really quick because I enjoy them.
Oh, there you go.
But with nonfiction, I think I should be spending more time reading that because it's more useful and it's real.
I love
So,
that.
but then, yeah, I don't get through them as quickly.
Right. Oh, that's so interesting.
And there's that book by,
I love that you read both though, because a lot of people are either or.
Richard Osman.
Yes.
He's written a book recently, hasn't he?
Yeah. I love him. He's so funny.
Yeah, apparently, like
And
that
clever.
book is supposed to be amazing. It's had amazing reviews.
Really?
I'm keeping tempted to get that as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. And you were talking, bless you, the corona. You were talking about the Matthew McConaughey one you want to get, isn't it?
Yeah.
That looks good, to be fair. What can I end on? You've got fucking Kurt Cobain. You've got Heavier Than Heaven.
That Murakami book, Nicole's got that.
Which one?
The Unvanishes. Do you know that Shiraz's his favourite writer?
Really? Oh, I do. I love him too, to be
He's
fair.
met him, I think, as well.
Get out.
Yeah.
I will actually, I'm so sorry. I'm going to kill him now. This is on record. So the cops can do with that what they like. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good. How do you feel about your pal? It's all right. It's more
I'm
distant.
looking forward to walking through the
Oh.
door and Nicole seeing it.
Yeah. It's hardly anything.
That's true.
How do you feel about my pal? How confident do you feel I'm going to sort out my books, Aaron Kallick?
That is quite a big pile, relatively. So, yeah, quite confident.
But what about when you see me doing it? Do you think I can continue doing this and this will all vanish and I can move into a home with a very modest bookshelf? Do you think I'll be a mess by the end of it? Do you think, finally, this is the right move?
I'm going to ask you a question instead.
Please.
Do you feel like you can do this without people with you? Could you do this on your own?
Yeah, it'll be a bit long. It'll be less fun, basically.
Right, yeah.
It'll be a bit less fun, but I think I can. I think it's really nice to mix it up like this. So occasionally I'll try and see if someone's about or do another one with you in the new year, but I can do it. I can. Yeah, okay. I think we're done. Here's a version of, no, you've already got that Ryan Holiday one, innit? About the 365 days or whatever.
Yeah, which one are you talking about?
So I just saw another, there's my cousin recommended another self-help guy called Peter Drucker, and it's called The Daily Drucker. It's like a bit of motivation for every day. Should we see if one's good?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the date today?
Date is the 13th, I think.
13th of December. Let's see what his advice on the 13th of December is. Oh shit, it's all a bit chunky. Let's see if what the acquirer contributes. The successful acquisition is based on what the acquiring company contributes to the acquisition. An acquisition will succeed only if the acquiring company thinks through what it can contribute to the business it is buying, not what the acquired company will contribute to the acquirer, no matter how attractive the expected synergy may look. Now listen, you're not going to read this, I'm not going to read this. I want to be a business guy. It's not
Heard mad things about that guy.
not happening. About which guy?
You might smell.
Oh, take that. Confessions of a Serial Killer. I'm not going to read that. With brutal honesty, Carlo writes from the heart, says Robert De Niro. Yeah, take that shit.
Says Robert De Niro.
Listen, gotta take Rob's word for it. Bobby. Yeah, that's so fucking tenuous. And this is to get rid. Yeah, but
Oh, do you know what? Like,
you're
I
done
know
with these
me.
books, aren't you?
I'm not done with these books. What it is,
Yeah.
is because of how small it is.
Yeah.
and how small the writing is,
Yeah.
that's a mental block for me.
Oh, is it? How
Yeah.
interesting. Too crammed.
So yeah,
Yeah.
basically, like with books, I'd like to see that I'm making progress with them a little bit.
That one would be.
So when it feels like you've written a lot,
Oh,
and
mate,
it's
I
like
feel
you're
like.
like 10 pages in, I'm like, nah.
Let's, these two to get rid of them. Because I'm not going to read that. That's John Williams. Hello, the free. Are you interested at all in like Mario Puzo, the Godfather guy? Are you a Godfather guy?
I don't think we've seen it.
So there you go then. That's some gangster shit. Probably see it one day. It's like a good fun. All
Say
right.
that's in the pile.
Yeah, that's in the get rid. Oh, okay. See, this is another thing with doing it is that I always envision it being a mad day where I get it done. Practically wise, it can't. It has to be bunches of series like this. I will continue to update. I don't know how actually to categorize this, Aaron, because I've been recording a few vlogs as like book vlogs, and this is our podcast. So I can maybe just put, it's not a crossover.
Do you want to hear something weird?
Please.
Looking through these books, I don't want to stop because I'm like, what if there's something amazing here?
Yes! Yes, exactly. There is. There are so many gems. There are. They're all inside.
No, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it's like there's all these piles. What if like I'm mixing something just behind this pile?
And the thing is, you're going to leave now, and you've missed a life-changing book. And this is the hard thing about getting rid of them. One of them might be the secret to my life,
Exactly.
but you have to just give it up and be like, I'll figure it out anyway, and it will come to me. Some bullshit like that. I don't know. Trust me on Ash Wednesday, you'll enjoy.
Okay.
Okay. Fuck it, we're done, yeah?
I think so. I mean, I'm not going to read them before the end of the year, am I?
No. Peace out. Onwards we go. The dad and the dude will return soon. More socially distanced. But this is a bubble, so fuck you.